and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very exciting video that's been a long time in the making. It's my Japan haul, which is going to specifically focus on Studio Ghibli merchandise that I bought while I was in Japan. Now, I have to be completely honest, it's been a while since my Japan trip. I went in April, it's currently the end of August. It's been a long time. I had a really busy summer, and because of that, I mean, I'm quite behind on a lot of my editing for the Japan vlogs that I filmed while I was in Japan. But you know, I thought might as well finally get this video underway, get it filmed and hopefully edited really soon, and then uploaded to my YouTube channel. If you're new to my channel, then hello and welcome. It's a brand new channel essentially. I just started it recently, but my goal with this channel is just to share my love of the things that I'm passionate about. One of these things definitely being Studio Ghibli. My husband introduced me to Studio Ghibli about a year and a half ago, and it slowly grew on me. But honestly, when I was in Japan and I got to go to the Studio Ghibli Museum, I was just fully immersed in that world, and it's just so magical. The more of the movies that I see, the more I fall in love with it. If you haven't seen any of the Studio Ghibli movies, then I highly recommend it. I'm gonna do a separate video where I talk about some of the different movies and the ones that are my favorites, but obviously you'll get to see a bit of my passion through some of the items that I selected when I was in Japan. I don't want this video to come across as, you know, showy or anything like that. It really just is about me sharing my passion with anybody out there that likewise loves Studio Ghibli. If you go to Japan and you are a lover of Studio Ghibli, then I have a lot of recommendations, which again, I'll leave to a separate video, particularly around the museum. So if you want to go to the Studio Ghibli Museum, I have a lot of recommendations for that, so watch out for that video. But today we're gonna look at some of the great things that I picked up in Japan for Studio Ghibli merchandise. So in terms of Studio Ghibli merchandise that you can find in Japan, it's like everywhere. It's amazing. I was just like the happiest little girl in the world. So when I was in Japan, there's stores that specifically are Studio Ghibli stores. These were wonderful. Obviously in the vlogs, I'll have a lot of footage from these stores because we kind of made it a bit of a mission for ourselves to check out as many of the Studio Ghibli official stores as possible. And they're beautiful. Not only are they obviously stores which have a lot of merchandise for Studio Ghibli, but the way that these stores are decorated, the one at Tokyo Skytree has just this beautiful, huge Totoro that's just like breathing with Mei on his belly sleeping, and it's magical. You go into the store thinking, oh, that's just a store, but it really isn't. It's just a magical experience. It teleports you into the movies in a certain way. So that was one of the places where a lot of this merchandise comes from. And then there's also other stores around Japan, particularly in our trip, we were in the Tokyo area, especially, is where some of these items were picked up. So there are other stores, and I kind of will try to briefly mention them as I go along, that you can also pick up some of this merchandise. And in general, a lot of times I would go into certain stores and just ask, hey, do you have Studio Ghibli merchandise? And they often would have a couple of things here and there. But yeah, let's get into the good stuff. I'm pretty sure that's what you came here for. So let's get into the Studio Ghibli merchandise. So one of the first things that I purchased was this little guy. So this is Gigi from Kiki's Delivery Service. So if you've seen that movie, you'll know that Gigi is Kiki's faithful companion. I myself have two amazing cats who might start coming along as I'm filming this video. They love to make a little cameo appearance. So if you see them later, don't be surprised. But Gigi is just adorable. I love the character. He's so feisty and always just a riot, I thought. So Kiki's Delivery Service is a beautiful movie about a young witch who's just finding her way, and it honestly, oh, there's one of my cats. There's my personal Gigi. Here, let me bring her with me. Hi. Hi, Nugget. You want to say hello? Hi. No? Okay, let's let her just go on her merry way. So as I was saying, so Kiki's Delivery Service is a beautiful movie about this young witch. She's with her family, but at a certain age, she has to go off and really discover herself and find a new town where she's going to start working and just become a full-fledged witch in and of her own right. And honestly, I saw that movie and I bawled my eyes out. I just absolutely loved it. The message of, you know, discovering your own way, of having that strong family attachment, but eventually having to go on your own was just magical. So I definitely had to pick this up, especially because, like I said, I have my own cats and I love cats. So this little guy is going to go on my car and just always be with me on my adventures, just like he joined Kiki on her adventures. Sticking on the theme of Kiki's Delivery Service, I also had to get a couple of these, they're like hair tie things. You put them on your hair to hold your hair back when it's wet. So maybe you can do some of your makeup or maybe some of your skincare in the evening. So the first one I bought was this one. I thought it was so adorable. It's very pink and girly and it's just really fun. And then I saw this one, and even though I already had bought this one, I was like, I have to get this. I mean, I have to get it. Again, if you've watched Kiki's Delivery Service, you'll know that Kiki has this huge bow on her head that's super cute and just part of like her whole character design. And I saw this and it has Gigi on it and I had to have it. It's super plush and just squishy and adorable. And yeah, you just wear these around your hair to hold your hair back. Not the kind of thing I would wear out necessarily, but definitely something to wear around the house when your hair is wet again and you just want to hold your hair back. So it's really fun and very, very cute. Another one of the early purchases that I made was this little bag as well. So my plan for this is just to use it kind of as a makeup bag, and eventually later on in the trip I actually picked up another one because these are really great. They actually fit a lot of stuff. I can fit full, like the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette fits fully in here with all my brushes and everything. It's just huge, as you can see. It's a great, great little makeup bag. So I bought this one for my makeup, and then I got another one that I'm just gonna use for my skincare. So these are wonderful, but I mean, the most wonderful part of it is that this is like full of little Totoros. Look how cute, and even like some of the little sprites are on there. It's just adorable. This one is just fabulous, and I think it's gonna be something that I'm really gonna use a lot. I mean, I'm already using the other one, which has a print that's more, it's full of Gigi on the print. Again, when you find a makeup bag that actually manages to fit all of your things, I'm sure anybody out there that is into makeup like I am will understand that it's the kind of item that you just have to keep and buy and just treasure, because it's rare to manage to fit everything into one spot. So I was really happy to pick this up. So in this little bag, I have a couple of figurines, and this is something that we notice actually in a lot of the stores. They have these little plastic figurines that are, I think, collectibles. A lot of them were sold out, so different stores would have different figurines available. But for all of the movies, they essentially had all of the main characters, even some of the vehicles that are in some of the movies. And yeah, you can see here, they're just these cute little plastic figurines. I think they're meant to be like finger puppets, but they're just adorable. They're in this like plastic, sorry for all the wrinkling noise, but see, they're just so adorable. I absolutely love Bo. I think he's like the cutest character. He's so funny. More so when he's in his like little purple hamster phase than even when he's a baby. But so you can see here the three that we picked up. So we obviously got a Screaming Totoro, we got the No Face, and we got Bo. And they're just absolutely adorable. This is the kind of thing that, it's so small, you can have it as just like a nice little decoration somewhere in your house. Maybe even if you had like a terrarium, so you have plants, you can just prop one in there as if it's like living amongst that habitat. You can put these in your car. I just thought they were super adorable, a great little kind of keepsake for some of our favorite characters, and a great way to show your fandom around the house. So I'll definitely have to find a place to really do them justice. Another item that I picked up was this gorgeous tea mug. So it's in a traditional Japanese tea mug style, and it's got all the characters from My Neighbor Totoro on it, but it's really cute. So you have little May, but some pictures look like it's a children's drawing. So I thought it was really cute that they've done that with the mug as well. And obviously anytime I'm gonna have tea, I'm gonna be able to think back to my lovely time in Japan. So this was another wonderful purchase that we picked up. And just like the figurines are a very common thing to find in a lot of the stores that sell Studio Ghibli merchandise, the other thing that I think was in every single store that we went to that sold Studio Ghibli merchandise was towels. I was surprised by this, but the more you get into Japanese culture, you start to see that it's very common actually for people to carry around a small face towel with them, especially in the heat of summer in Japan. It gets very, very hot, and it's kind of one of those things you carry it around to kind of just wipe away a bit of the sweat. So it's, I guess, a very common thing for Japanese to buy these smaller size towels. They sold in the stores all sizes of towels, so I bought a couple of hand towels, a couple of face towels. I didn't buy any huge ones just because of, obviously, you know, restrictions with suitcases and things like that, but I did buy quite a few of the little towels. So again, another bag, just a bag of towels. I know it sounds crazy, but honestly, when you see all of the designs that they have, you just become overwhelmed because the level of cute designs that they are managing to make is just beyond me. And you'll see, like this. Like, could you resist this if you saw this and you were a fan of Studio Ghibli? I don't think you could. I mean, I definitely couldn't. So it's a cute Totoro, and the whole towel is just in a green design. I bought this more just to when I'm traveling. This can be like a face towel that I take with me. I love it. To be honest, it became the kind of thing where you just came up with excuses in order to buy all the cute things you saw. Not gonna lie. But I love that one, and I love them all. This one is with Gigi again. As you can see, he is one of my favorite characters. In the background, you have some of the bakery images because they work in a little bakery. This towel is by far my favorite because of the color scheme to it. So I love black, white, gray. I kind of very monochromatic with my fashion sense, and then I'll add pops of color. But this one, just because it's so lovely, and just like with the light gray and the beigey white, I just absolutely love this one. Definitely going to be using this as a hand towel in my bathroom. Another item that was very common in all of the stores were keychains and pins. I absolutely love these items, so I bought quite a few of them. The first one that I purchased was this little coin purse. So this is a little Totoro coin purse, and he has one of the little sprites on the top of his head. To be honest, not much fits in here. I guess I have like an old ticket of something, but yeah, not a lot fits in here. I actually had to take a lot of the stuffing out. The way he originally comes, he's much fatter than this even, but it just meant that I couldn't really put a lot of change inside. See, his back is very flat now. So if you purchase this item, mind you, it will be much fatter than this, which is very adorable. I mean, I loved how he looked originally, but I did want him to be a bit more practical. During the trip, we had a lot of change. So if you're traveling in Japan, just know that you're gonna be carrying around a lot of loose change. So I didn't really have a coin purse, so this kind of became my go-to coin purse once I de-stuffed him, I guess, a little bit. That's quite morbid, but he was just, he was a bit too chubby to begin with, and I needed to just make him a little bit slimmer. I also attached a little, it's kind of like a little charm that they also sell. The charms come in these types of little boxes, so it's like a little matchbox almost, but just adorable. Like, again, look at this packaging. I'm a sucker for packaging, so just like the gift bags that they give you and like the little boxes that everything comes in, I love it. How can I throw this out now? I don't know what I will use it for, but I just cannot think of throwing it out because it's so adorable. But yeah, So I thought, you know, let me put the little charm on the Totoro so he's got his little friends with him and they're all just dancing around. I hung this from my purse actually while I was in Japan, and it was just such a cute little statement piece, and it made a lot of people turn their heads. We had quite a few on the subway, for example, people that just looked at me and were like, Totoro! Like they just recognized him hanging off of my purse, and it was just adorable to see the wonderment that, you know, these characters bring into everybody's hearts. Especially in Japan, obviously, these are like their equivalent of like Disney, so they grow up on these beautiful movies. So to see it, it kind of brings the child out of any adult. And in addition, you can hear like the little bell ringing. So in addition, I also purchased this beautiful keychain. I mean, it's not really a keychain, actually, now that I think about it, because it can really hang off of like before. I don't know if you remember, old school phones would have like the little tab where you could hang this off of. I could hang this off of my camera, mind you, because it makes so much noise, that would be really distracting. But it's just like a little, I guess a little dangling, cute chain that you can have. To me, it's one of those items that I purchased on my Japan trip that just screams a lot of memories of Japan for me. So obviously Totoro, he's inside of one of the ramen bowls or rice bowls. This is more of like a rice bowl that we saw while we were there, and he's got this really cute it looks like a fish, but this is one of the desserts that we saw while we were in Japan that was very common. Really good dessert. A lot of times it would be filled with like red bean paste, very traditional in a lot of the festival markets. And then it's got a little Sprite just coming out of the end. Again, just the whole entire item is just so beautiful, so well thought out. You know, it's not just like a Totoro hanging off the end of this little charm. It's just like everything that you could love in one place. And my favorite part though about this item is the fact that Totoro is just pointing in the direction of action and adventure. So I just loved it. And the pins are something that was everywhere. Japan seems to love pins just as much as I do, because a lot of stores have pins, which might just be for like any character that you could think of, but a lot of obviously Studio Ghibli pins as well. So I got this Totoro one, I have a Gigi pin, and then I also have a Ponyo pin, which, oh my god, guys, I love Ponyo. If you haven't seen Ponyo, you have to. That movie is just magical and beautiful, and yeah, I had to find me a Ponyo pin. So that pin I actually purchased at the museum. These other pins I found around at different stores in Tokyo. And speaking of the museum, this over here is a little frame that I made myself. It doesn't come like this, but it basically was to keep in it the beautiful tickets that they give you. So I'll have close-ups because honestly no image this far can do justice to just how gorgeous the tickets are to the museum. So I will do a video separately where I talk more about the museum, the experience, how we purchased our tickets and all of that. But just keep in mind, because it's one thing that kind of weighed heavy on me, is we purchased our tickets secondhand, which is fine. A lot of people do that. Or whether you buy them through Lawson's, which is a convenience store that they have there, you will get a paper ticket. But once you go to the museum, they actually exchange it for these beautiful tickets. So I said that it weighed heavy on me because when I first got the paper tickets, I was like, no, I've seen these tickets online. This is what they're supposed to look like, not just regular paper tickets. But don't fret. Okay, you will get these beautiful tickets once you get to the museum and exchange your paper tickets in. And the tickets are all random. So we met a lot of people while we were at the museum, and everybody had other random selections. So they're just little frames from different movies. So you actually get the film frames. So at least each one has 3 film frames that are just cut into the ticket itself. So when you hold it up to the light, you can see which frames you actually got. So yeah, so I decided to put mine up in a picture frame that will allow the light in so that I can always enjoy them. And one of the items that I purchased while at the museum was also this. So this is actually a card. You can see it there. Ultimately, I think the frame looks really nice the way that I've managed to present it. So speaking of the Studio Ghibli Museum, it is just such an amazing experience. There are kids there, but honestly, as an adult, I felt just as excited as they were because it's such a magical and profound place. The art comes to life, the music comes to life, all of it was just so magical. And I just absolutely loved it. It was my highlight of my Japan trip. So from that, I did also purchase quite a few items. Obviously, I mean, if you're there, you're gonna go a little bit ham, right? So the store that's at the museum is actually different than a lot of the other stores. It does have some exclusive merchandise. Some of the items that, I didn't purchase these items, but they have a lot of flatware. So some cups and plates and things like that. They have some jewelry, some gorgeous jewelry. I mean, very expensive, but just beautiful. I wish I'd purchased it, but that's okay. I had to hold my wallet back. But this is the actual name of the store. And keep in mind that the store is only within the museum. So if you do not have a ticket to the museum, unfortunately you can't access the store. I don't know if this will change at some point, but at least as of when I went in 2017, April, because there were some people that tried to go into the store. So they approached, you know, the front of the museum, and when they asked whether they could just go into the store to purchase some items, unfortunately they were turned away. So keep that in mind, that if you wish to go to the museum store, you would need a ticket to go into the museum. Let's get into some of the amazing items that I managed to pick. Another cute item that they have at the museum are these little pieces. So again, it's pieces of film from the different movies, and these are kind of like mystery boxes in a sense, in that you don't know which movies you're going to get when you purchase this item. So it comes in this kind of a bag, and then when you open it up, it'll just have frames from different movies. And they're kind of like bookmarks. So the one that I got here is Ponyo. Very excited because it's one of my favorite movies, and it's just beautiful. It has this little tie at the end, so if you were to keep it in a book, you could always find your bookmark. I really want to think of a creative way to display these items. I've yet to come up with the best option. They're just lovely nonetheless. If anything, I'll just use them as bookmarks, and every time I open a book and look at these, I'll just be brought back to my wonderful experience at the museum. I also got this postcard at the museum. It is just so beautiful and whimsical. It's the cat bus, and the cat bus actually, there's two cat buses, and just quite a lot of the characters from the different movies, particularly from, actually now that from all of the movies, because I see some of little Ponyo's sisters over here, and Porco Rosso is in there, so quite a few characters, but this cat bus over here is jumping over the museum itself, so I thought this was really lovely. I want to frame this and just put it somewhere in the house to always be able to look at and remember our trip. And also from the museum, you can see, I'm sorry, there's quite a few things we got at the museum, hence that big bag I showed you at the beginning, right? Another item we purchased at the museum was this lovely pen. So it's the kind that when you move the pen, you can see the little characters are also moving and gliding up and down, and I just thought it was really cute. On the reverse side, it does say, you know, Studio or Ghibli Museum Mitaka. So again, just a lovely keepsake to remember our experience at the museum with. This was the first item that I put into my basket at the museum. I saw this and just, oh, I just couldn't believe it. It's just so beautiful. I cannot wait now that I'm finally filming this video. I've been waiting this whole time to film this video in order to start using a lot of these products. Some of them have already been in use, but this one has been kept away just so that I could film this video and then finally start to use it, and I'm very excited. It's a gorgeous jewelry keepsake tray. So you can see here just how beautiful this little tray is. So I plan on putting, you know, my jewelry, maybe earrings, rings, things like that. And it's just a gorgeous little tray. Just always look at this and remember what it was like being at the museum, because they have a giant robot, one of these guys on the rooftop, and it is just an amazing experience to be kind of there and look up and see him, and it was just beautiful. So I was really happy to pick this up and to have this little guy with me as well. So I only have 2 items left to show, but these 2 are showstoppers in my opinion. The first of which I'll show you came from the museum, which is why I'll include it now, and it's this incredible book. I love this book. When I saw it on the shelf, I just had to have it because it has so many beautiful illustrations. As you can see here, this illustration, it opens up and it's a full map of the museum, or a full, almost a picture just of the exterior of the museum. It has some little kind of cutaways to inside, but again, it's very kind of rough drawing of the design and the idea of the museum. It's dated as well, so 1999, so probably around the time that they were first coming up with the idea of the museum. And it has pictures of the interior of the museum itself. So spoiler warning in case you don't want to see this book. I just thought to myself, I have to have this because I can flip through the pages and look at images of specific rooms and just really kind of harken back to what it was like actually being there. No book can do it justice, no picture can do it justice, because really, like I said, it is an immersive experience. It's about the tactile feel, it's about the auditory experience, the music playing while you're there, opening doors and discovering things that maybe you wouldn't have discovered if you hadn't thought to wander in there, right? But the book comes as close as I'm gonna get, right? Other than just going back again to the museum, which I hope to do one day. So it was really a great purchase. I absolutely cherish this book. And even for family, friends that are interested in what that experience was like, this is my only real way of showing it to them, right? Or even showing it to anybody who's watching this video. Just a great keepsake, and I absolutely love this book. I'm so glad that I have it. And the last item that I'm going to show, it came in this huge box. I've kept it because again, it's just another example of beautiful packaging. Just a gorgeous box. On the top, you know, you have the Totoro, and he's playing, well, the 2 little Totoros, they're playing their little flutes that they have in the movie. Just really cute, perched up on this tree branch. I've left this item for last, even though this actually came from a different store, but it's a great opportunity now for me to, you know, mention. So this is the item. Now, how adorable is this? I'm terrified I'm gonna drop it, so just bear with me one second. There we go. Okay, I have it on more stable holding. So they have planters like this. They come in all sizes. So they have big ones, they have small ones. They also have a lot of figurines. Those were gorgeous. They have a lot of jewelry boxes and things like that. So a lot of these more ceramic types of items that they have in a lot of the Studio Ghibli branded stores. So these are the actual Studio Ghibli stores. But in addition to the Studio Ghibli stores, a lot of the other stores that I found Studio Ghibli merchandise at would have smaller selections, but some of these items nonetheless. So the one store where I purchased this was actually this store. So I'm gonna hopefully pronounce this properly, Kotobukiya, which is a store that, it seems to be a chain store because they had a lot of different locations in the different cities that we went to. And even in Tokyo, they had a lot of different locations. I'll try to leave a link to their website down below in case you're interested. But this particular item, out of all the ones that we saw, I just thought was so whimsical. You know, it's a big chubby mean Totoro carrying around this cart, and in the back he's got his little small Totoro friends, and he's got obviously the planter, and it itself also has a lot of the figurines, so like the sprites, it's got the chestnuts, the leaves. And inside, I've just put like this IKEA fake plant, but you could technically put your own plant if you wanted to. But I just thought that this item was so cute. Like I mentioned, I love housewares, and I love housewares that kind of show your fandom and ways that you can decorate your house, but still showing your fandoms and the things that you love and you're passionate about. So I thought this was a great addition to my collection, and just something that I've had this on display since we came back from Japan because I just couldn't keep it in the box. I had to have this out so that our family and friends, when they come to visit, they just could see something gorgeous that we can obviously point to and say, hey, that comes from Japan, and maybe they'll ask us some questions. What character is that? I've never seen that, and perhaps get them into the magical world of Studio Ghibli. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.